So depending on when you're watching this video, you're probably watching this in the month of June. At least that's when this video gets uploaded. And here in America, the month of June is known to be Pride Month. And so that has to do with, of course, LGBTQ plus pride. And I wanted to respond to, I guess, Pride Month and put out some content as I normally do. If you go back, I make a video, at least one video per year on this topic. I really wanted to tackle this from a bit of a different angle because this is considered Pride Month. And here in America, the average American has some kind of social pressure to support Pride Month. And I actually want to put forward the case that we as Christians should be anti-pride. And so let's get into this. Now this is like slightly clickbaity, okay? And so what I mean by that is I'm not actually in this video going to be addressing the whole LGBTQ issue in of itself. Again, I have some other videos if you want to go back. I have one from last year, and then 2 years ago I made maybe three or four different videos. And so I think my position is pretty clear, but I probably will make maybe at least one more video on this topic this month. But I say this is kind of clickbait because again, I'm not going to really focus on the LGBTQ pride stuff. That is the occasion, of course, to address this, but I'm really talking about pride in general. And so I think if we can understand how to approach pride in general, this should inform us also on how to approach this LGBTQ Pride Month here in America. And so let me throw some verses at you. So first there's Proverbs 11:2, which says, "When pride comes, then comes disgrace, but with the humble is wisdom." Okay, so obviously in that verse, pride is a negative thing. It's not a thing to flaunt or a thing to desire or a thing to be happy that you have that. But pride actually leads to disgrace, according to Solomon here in Proverbs. I'll throw one more proverb at you. This is Proverbs 8:13, which says, "The fear of the Lord is hatred of evil. Pride and arrogance in the way of evil and perverted speech I hate." There's a bit of a dichotomy here where on the one side you have the fear of the Lord, and the other side you have pride and arrogance and evil speech. And these are opposed to one another. You can't have both at the same time, not properly anyway, right? You can't on the one hand say I fear the Lord and I worship him, but on the other side you're also full of pride and evil speech. These things are opposed to one another. Let me share something from James 4:6, which says, "But he gives more grace. Therefore it says, God opposes the proud, but gives grace to the humble." So that couldn't be any more clear. James tells us very clearly, God opposes the proud. Now, overall in the Bible, it actually doesn't tell us even clearly, like, what are people prideful about? Because I think the point should be obvious to us. It doesn't matter what you're prideful about. You could be prideful that you are rich and wealthy. You could be prideful that you're smart and intelligent. You could be prideful about your upbringing. You could be prideful about your race. You could be prideful about your gender or sexual identity, okay? And if that's how we understand this, if we kind of compile all the scriptures that have to do with pride and humility, then we would say, absolutely, we should be anti-pride in every shape and form. The only time that you'll ever see pride perhaps put in a positive light is when Paul says things like, "I will boast all the more gladly in my weaknesses, because then the power of Christ will rest upon me." Other places, "I will boast of the gospel," in essence. And so when you're boasting about God, or you're boasting about, I'm a very weak person and I need God, I need his power in my life. Well, that is the correct and the proper, the positive kind of boasting, but that is not at all the kind of boasting that we typically do, or the kind of boasting and pridefulness that we witness in our culture. And so to the question if we should support Pride Month, well, there's many reasons why we shouldn't, but let me give you at least one strong reason right off the bat is, well, we should be anti-pride in every shape and form. And so this whole month, this whole premise of we need to have a pride in our sexual identity and gender identity, whatever you want to call that, already that's a faulty premise, and that's something that we should not support as Christians. Now, you might be able to say, well, yeah, I get that, but that we have to kind of get to their heart and like what they're trying to do. And I'm sorry, I can't track with that, because if the whole premise, if the foundation of something, a movement, a belief system is already faulty, then we can't move further, right? And that's not something that we should support as Christians. And again, if you're not sure of my views, just go watch some of the other videos. I may or may not make another video. I'm not going to promise that I will, but I plan to make at least one more video this month on this topic, maybe to rehash some of the things I've said before and put it in a format that would be a little bit easier for today and now. And so I hope this is helpful. God is absolutely against pride in all of its forms, unless it's a pride or a boastfulness that exalts him. Okay, and so I hope this is helpful for you. I hope this gives you some direction and wisdom on how to approach this whole topic. And beyond even just this month, like, may we feel called to humility in every part of our life. And if we have any boastfulness in us today, we're boasting in self, or we're trying to become something so that we could boast in ourselves. Let us go the opposite direction, the way of Jesus, and humble ourselves before God and before people. And so if you like this video, leave a like down below, comment, say anything that you want. I would love to read your comments. Subscribe if you're not a subscriber already, but that's it for today, guys. God bless you. I love you. Peace.